Hello and welcome to the Bald Truth Review, episode 11. And this week we start with the issues of law and order and the police. And the question, are some people above the law? For today we learnt, with a bit of breaking news, that 3 police officers are facing disciplinary proceedings. Now this relates to the case involving convicted drug dealer Curtis Warren. And specifically the fact that a hire car was bugged by the Jersey police, bugged throughout its journey over several European countries. Now the question we have to ask is this: if this bugging was done illegally, then does the buck stop with the police? Who authorised the police to carry out this illegal activity? Should the charges actually be criminal? Will it just be a disciplinary behind closed doors? Who are these officers? But more importantly, who are these law officers who gave them permission to break the law? Because, as I understand it, this operation could not have taken place without being okayed from the very top of the law office. This is a question that we need an answer to. And now it's time for the leak of the week. And what's the leak of the week this week? Well, it's about special privileges and growing unrest in the ministerial ranks. Now, not only is there disquiet amongst a number of deputies, senators and constables on the backbenches as to why Senator Philip Balash has a pass to every council of ministers meeting, my ministerial mole from deep in the bowels of Cyril Lamako House tells me that there's actually disquiet amongst a number of ministers. In fact, the word is from my ministerial mole that 2 ministers have actually complained. They want to know why Senator Balash, an assistant minister, let us not forget, attends every single Council of Ministers meeting. Of course, this has to throw up the question once again: who is the real Chief Minister? Is it Senator Gorst, who won the election back in 2011? Or is it actually Senator Balash himself pulling the strings, as so many of us actually think? Durats. Now this week I was reminded by a young Conservative Twitterer that I'd not approached the subject of Durats for some weeks on the Bald Truth Review. Well, firstly, let me say that I'm very pleased to know that I have Conservatives amongst the ranks of the Bald Truth Review's following. I'm always pleased to appeal to the broad cross-section of the political spectrum, even what some might call the lunatic fringe. But secondly, I'd just like to put the young Twitterer's mind at rest, because the issue of Durats hasn't gone away, nor will it anytime soon. Indeed, my proposition to investigate the whole issue of the Durat system will be lodged shortly before the end of the year. What will this look at? Well, it'll look at the whole process of how Durats are elected. Who elects them? How does the process work? Is it human rights compliant? Who monitors whether a Durat is a fit and proper person? Can they even be disciplined? So, put your mind at rest, young Twitterer. There's a famous saying, isn't there? Who's policing the police? Well, with my proposition, we'll eventually find out who's judging the Durats. Hopefully, the Conservative element amongst the Bald Truth Review's viewers can lobby their Conservative politicians to support my proposition. Tax breaks. Now, last week's state sitting saw Deputy Southern bring forward a very moderate proposition requesting that 1.1Ks, the very wealthiest members of our island community, would be requested to pay another £3,000 towards the tax coffers. What happened? well, of course, the old arguments, the old myths were wheeled out once again. That if we tax these people, just as if we tax companies, they'll all up sticks and leave. Is there any truth in this? Well, let's just test that out with what's happened recently in the UK with Starbucks. Now, Starbucks is a multi-billion profit-making company. They were rumbled that they'd paid hardly any tax whatsoever in comparison. Did they up sticks and leave? No. They immediately started to write a cheque for £10 million with another 10 million to follow. It's the same argument, of course, that we hear in Jersey with the finance industry, with companies. So what I think would be a very good idea is that every establishment party member of our government, particularly the Treasury Minister, was to put this book on their Christmas list. It's called 23 Things They Don't Tell You About Capitalism, and it's written by Ha-Joon Chang, who's an award-winning economist at Cambridge University. What Chang points out is that giving multi-millionaires and billionaires tax breaks doesn't actually make the pie bigger for the rest of us. It's a myth. And the sooner all other states members get around to understanding that fact, then the sooner we can get around to good fact-based argument for the next time when someone like Deputy Southern brings forward a proposition to actually try and even out the tax burden in our island in these austere economic times. And now it's time for a treat for trolls. Last week we had the troll in the studio and he wanted to be Don. Well, this week the treat is that Don would like to be one of his other fake avatars. So, who are you going to be this week, Don? Oh, this week Don says he'd like to be Gary Cummins. Is that right? Oh, no, he's changed his mind. He's going to be Pete Drummond. Now, are you quite sure that you don't want to be Hillary from St Brelard? Oh, it is. Hillary of St Brelard. So, what have you been doing this week, Hillary of St Brelard's? Oh, well, Hillary's been bombarding the Bald Truth Review with highly offensive and hate-filled anonymous comments. Comments that she says, is not from her. Oh, well, what else have you been doing, Hillary, this week? Oh, Hillary says she's been on Facebook and set up 32 new accounts. And Twitter. Oh, it's been very busy. Been to Twitter and Facebook. So, tell me, Hillary, why are you so full of hate? Have you been castigated by a local blog? Hillary doesn't want to talk about that, viewers. You know, perhaps that's Hillary's problem. She needs a voice. She needs to be someone. And the only way she can get that is by attacking others anonymously. Now remember, viewers, this is a serious issue. Last week I told you that if you were bothered by trolls, you should contact the police or the Data Protection Office. Though on second thoughts, in Jersey, that might not do you a lot of good. Instead, if you are bothered by a troll, get in touch with me here at the Bald Truth Review and we'll look into the matter. And remember, get involved, because if you don't do politics, politics will do you.